thank you for joining us on the program Dialogue in Diaspora, coming to you live from Ben Television. We are transmitting from our North London studio here in Tottenham Hale, and we are reaching our viewers across the whole of the United Kingdom on Sky Channel B, Sky B238. If you got on Sky Boss, it's free on 238 for Ben Television, and across Europe we are on Eurobird. You can watch us anywhere, especially in Central Europe, across Germany, France, anywhere in Central Europe you can watch us on Eurobird. It's a pleasure. And in Nigeria, we are also transmitting live to Nigeria on Star Time Nigeria, on TST, the latest and newest platform where people can watch television services in Nigeria now. And so this is a global platform, and across the whole of North America you can watch us via www.bentelevision.com. On our website, we also stream live this program anywhere in the world. You can watch us. Good morning. My name is Tunde Alabi. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the program today. On the show, I'm joined by, in the studio, two gentlemen, and we'll be joined live from Imo State, Owerri, specifically in Owerri, in Imo State, by one of the media spokesperson of Governor Rochas Okorocha, as we will be taking a look at one of the controversies, well, let me not call it controversies, one of the latest unusual development that Nigerians woke up to just days ago in Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria. I'm actually talking specifically about Jacob Zuma's statue that was erected and unveiled by Governor Rochas Okorocha 2 Saturdays ago in Imo State, where he hosted the current president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, who is currently under investigation for corruption allegations at the moment. About 783 corruption charges now against him being investigated in South Africa, has suddenly become a hero in Nigeria, and of course through the singular effort of Governor Rochas Okorocha. It is no doubt that South Africa, in all manners of things, are far ahead of Nigeria in terms of technology, in terms of education, and in terms of is social economic empowerment. They are, in fact, today, South Africa is the biggest economy in Nigeria, and that is one of the excuses given by Governor Rochas Okorocha for unveiling that statue. He says he's trying to deepen relationship with South Africa, and the only one person that can do that is the current ANC candidate, who is the president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma. Hence, we've got this huge bronze statue of Jacob Zuma standing very tall in Owerri today, and a street named after Jacob Zuma with a chieftaincy title and one of the highest titles also offered him by the governor in the state. Anyway, is that decision an error or a strategy by the governor of Imo State? Is it an error of judgment, or it was a strategy? This is what we'll be taking a look at on the program today. You can join us to also discuss this issue among several other issues in Nigeria on the show. You will also remember that 2019 is close by as the year is running out. So many parties are coming up. Candidates are jostling to get a ticket of their party. But one thing that is still unknown, who will fly the ticket or the flag for the ruling party APC, President Muhammadu Buhari, or any other person, and who will be the candidates for PDP. We don't know yet, but hopefully you might be able to suggest who you think will be the best candidate for 2019 presidential election. I'm now joined in the studio by the chairman of Association of Nigerian Union of Journalists in the UK, ANJUC, Chukwudi Nwabuko, from London. Chukwudi, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
And also, I'm joined by a political analyst and commentator, Honorable Babs Fakmonda. Honorable, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. Thank you.
And we'll be joined from Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria, by Ebere, who is one of the key spokespersons to Governor Rochas Okorocha. As soon as he joins us on the line, we will bring him into the show. Let me start with Chukwudi. Chukwudi, thank you for joining us again on the show. When you heard about Governor Rochas Okorocha unveiling the statute of the president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, in Imo State, and actually naming him a street after him, and also giving him a chieftaincy title, what came to your mind?
Oh, thank you so much, Tunde. That's a good question, but I want to say that when I had it, I know it was typical of Okorocha, because those are the kind of things he likes doing. He likes doing things that are not in tandem with the wishes of the people. So I believe that if it's a strategy, it failed woefully. If and it's more of an error than a strategy, because you cannot do what he did against the background of people who are working in the civil service, who are not being paid over a period of months. They are being owed salary. The state itself is in a state of disrepair, no matter what they tell us in the media, which is not very correct. Those on the ground will tell you that they are suffering, and for him to railroad Zuma and then build a statue for him, costing more than 500 million naira, in a place people are suffering, people are aching out a living, and they cannot really get on well with the economy. I think it's a misplaced priority. But for me, having known Okorocha for who he is someone who thrives no matter the kind of news, good news, bad news, he enjoys it. And that's the kind of thing he likes doing, so that he will think that he is maybe kind of popular outside the country. So Zuma is not a role model in Africa today. Even in his own country, he is being challenged here and there. You saw him the other day on the national, when he came to the National Assembly, how parliamentarians took him up and said, raised charges against it that he was not supposed to come there because of his own this. And then at the time he was in Nigeria, the Supreme Court in that country leveled more than 780 allegations of corruption against him. So that is not a role model. In South Africa, Nigerians are being killed almost every day, being mobbed every day. Nothing has been said about it. So for Okorocha to damn the consequence and bring Zuma and erect a statue on his behalf, and then give him a chieftaincy title against the background of what is happening in that state. I mean, it's a kind of somebody not being realistic. He's not being realistic. He doesn't have the interest of the people he say he proposed to govern. Doesn't have the interest at heart. That's what I believe. Because if he believed that he came there to make changes and bring prosperity to that state, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing, particularly spending 500 million naira plus on statue. For who? Before he came, there was somebody who was on that seat, Mbakwe, who made Imo State, Abia State today what they are. Since Mbakwe left government, no state governor has been able to replicate what Mbakwe did. What they have been doing is to run down what the man did and sell them off. None of them can boast of what Mbakwe did. Have they erected statue of Mbakwe? They haven't done that. Mbakwe deserved it more than that guy. He deserved it more than Zuma. Zuma is alien to Nigerians. How they can recollect him? How many people know him in Nigeria? Apart from the fact that he's on the news because of corruption. So why would you use him as a role model and then put him at the center of the town and put his statute? Who really want to impress? Okay,
can we just quickly say this? If you're watching this program, if you're Imo State or you are anywhere around close to, if you're from any state around Imo State, Eastern part, or even if you're in Nigeria, you're watching this place, we would like to have your opinion, your views on this. I don't know if you have Ebere from Owerri on the line. Do we have Ebere on the line yet? Not yet. Okay. As soon as we're able to connect with Ebere, the spokesperson for Governor Rochas Okorocha, we will bring him on air to have his opinion also on this matter. If you're watching this program, it is live coming to you from Ben Television Studio We're transmitting from our North London studio across the whole of Africa, across the whole of the United Kingdom, and across Central Europe indeed. And for those of you in America, you can watch us live on www.bentelevision.com. For those of you in Europe, you can watch us on Eurobelsat. And for those of you in Nigeria, you can watch us live via Star Times or TST. Hopefully, that's what they call it. TST is a new platform in Nigeria. Honorable, what are your views? When you heard about Jacob Zuma becoming a hero through the singular effort of Governor Rochas Okorocha in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for bringing this issue to fore, so that we can impin our intellectual cavity into it and dissect it for people to really understand what is going on in South Africa. I subscribe a lot to history, and I love to see things in perspective, in clarity, rather than in a sensationalized manner. Governor Okorocha is at liberty to do whatever he wants to do in government. But having said that, because he's been given the mandate to do that, but having said that, why will anybody in his right thinking state celebrate the president of South Africa in Nigeria, negating the fact that way back in the 60s and 70s, early 70s, Nigeria was one of the most, in fact, the highest contributor to, in resource-wise, to the emancipation of South Africa as a nation under
apartheid.
Thank you, sir. Under apartheid. Thank you. I almost lost my thought trajectory in that direction. Under apartheid, and Nigeria did so much to help South Africa out of slavery and apartheid. As South Africa, having emancipated, even under Nelson Mandela, now Jacob Zuma, has South Africa ever done anything to say thank you to Nigeria? Nothing. What we see during President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime was for South African companies to come into Nigeria and, be taking advantage of various economic opportunities that are vast in the nation. For example, MTN in the communication sector. It is a plus for our country, but I'm just saying that we should look into history before we start acting on behalf of the people. South Africa needs to celebrate Nigeria. Nigeria does not need to celebrate South Africa as it is at the moment. I don't want to oversling it. I don't want to overflog it. I don't want to be sentimental about it. My colleague here have said so many things of interest, of which I will mention two. Nigerians are being persecuted in South Africa. Majority of them are of Igbo extraction. And I do not think that, building a statue for Zuma actually is in tandem or with the social reality of Nigerians in South Africa and back home to Nigeria.
Okay, all right. Let me restate again. If you're watching this program anywhere in the world, you can join us by calling into the studio. Even if you're in South Africa, you can be part of the program. If you're in Nigeria, you can be part of the program. Anywhere you are, the number to call is going to be put on the screen. Let us have your view. Chukwudi, quickly again. Governor Rochas has come under knocks, and some have actually praised him. Some have given him knocks. But on balance of thoughts, wouldn't you say that the decision to put the statue of Jacob Zuma in Imo State, Nigeria, could pacify South Africans and could probably inspired Jacob Zuma into stemming the storm of attacks on Nigeria? Of course, it's no news that he is being quiet about xenophobic attacks on Nigeria. But could this action not inspire him to do something?
Well, thank you. I don't think it will inspire him to do anything. If he hasn't before now done anything on about Nigerians being killed in that particular his own country. Moreover, as my colleague said, many people who are being killed in South Africa are mainly Igbos, where Zuma was honored, where he was honored. You see, there is something my colleague said that the governor has right to do whatever he wanted to do. No, he has to operate under law. He is not above the law. For example, why would the State Assembly?
It's not unlawful.
Yeah, no. The State Assembly said on record that they had no control over. They cannot question what he did on that area. I mean, you submit yourself to the rule of law. As a governor, you're not above the law. You have that thing supposed. If they can see, they say that, which means it's not in the budget.
It's an executive power.
Executive
of statute.
Executive power. Okay, was it appropriated? Power. If it was an appropriation bill, the State Assembly will know about it, and they will not say that they're not aware of it. It was not appropriated for that. From what we have learned now, it would have been made. It would have been on the budget, and nobody will quarrel about it.
Probably spent out of his security votes.
Security votes. No, he didn't say that security votes. Security votes. He didn't say that. It's not on the people's bill. Security votes, we know, is a camouflage. They used to pile away money. It's not. He didn't say, but it's from security votes that he used to do that. That's a policy for him that he has done. He will now take it as credit, as one of his achievements. So who does it benefit? When you carry out, when you spend people's money, and without benefiting them, what is that for? So I don't think it's going to make Zuma to relent and then come and intervene in what is happening in his country, if by now he has not done it. So I believe that Nigerians should hold their government accountable to the people. That is what it's supposed to do. Every penny they spend, they must account for it. It must be spent well for their welfare. You are owing workers of the state, civil servants, months salaries. You are owing them. Most of them are dying. But it is convenient for you to spend 500 million naira to build a statue. Secondly, before then, remember what happened last month? This man, for almost 1 month or so, or one week or 2 weeks, celebrating birthday, 27 cakes everywhere. As if he's not feeling the pinch people we are feeling. So it's not above the people. He has to bring himself to people's level. If they're giving him their trust to put him in that position, should also respect them.
All right.
That's how it should be.
I think we're now joined by Dr. Nzewuji, the essay on electronic media to Governor Rochas Okorocha. Doctor, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Dr. Nzewuji? Good morning, Dr. Nzewuji. Good morning. Do we have him online? Good morning, Dr. Nzewuji. Okay, all right. Ebere, are you there? Okay, let's. Well, I think we're trying to connect him. But the issue of people not being paid is not exclusive to Imo State. There are other states that their governors or government still owing them. So why should Imo State be persecuted for that? Saying, look, they're suffering generally in the land in Nigeria. Imo State is not an exception. Yeah,
but we cannot excuse that kind of dereliction of duty because it's pervasive in most of the states in Nigeria. It is because of misapplication of funds and misgovernance. That is why you first of all have people. Now you talked about. Let me digress. You talked about security votes. Nobody accounts for it. It runs into billions every month. Now, they don't think it wise to de-emphasize security votes and use up to 1 billion naira to see what they can do to offset people salaries. Salaries, people have worked for it. Remember, it was in the same states that people who were under pension were told that they were being coerced to forfeit, what they are being owed and somebody wants to make it, if you are owing 100,000, they will give you 20,000. Is now it's as if that 80,000 naira or 1,000 naira does not exist in that particular state. And then you have enough resources to build a statue for someone. I mean, as somebody with a human kindness, with blood running in your vein, you see people dying every day because of non-payment of salary. If you use that money, it will alleviate a lot of problems. Some people will get paid, and then we should not, because Nigerians are not being governed properly, then we think that things should be excused. No way. Governors owing salaries are living comfortably in themselves. They are living big. They are living well, riding all the kind of limousines. Anywhere they want to go, they go to. They don't care about people's welfare. We should begin to rise up and ask government, let them be accountable to the people. They're not above the people. People should rise up and ask them, demand accountability from them. When you do that, because most of them now are I'm telling you that they are piling money. The money is available. They are piling money for election. Because when they come to power, they look at 4 years ahead. How do we make this money? They begin to keep money aside for their own campaigns. So that is why the money in the state resources, the state coffer, is being depleted, because the money is being siphoned for individual purpose, and nobody rises up to ask questions, because everybody is a sycophant. If you are sycophantic, they will settle you. So Nigeria should rise up. Otherwise, this thing will continue in that country. They will take people for ride, and because nothing will happen. So if you demand that Okorocha should be accountable to the people and not the governors, all these issues will not arise.
All right, I think Ebere is back on the line. Good morning, Dr. Nzewuji. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for very well. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Ebere Nzewuji is the SC on electronic media to Governor Rochas. Quickly, now, the issue of Jacob Zuma started in Imo State. Your governor has come under knocks and praises, more knocks, for such a decision at a time when workers are being owed salaries, and when the social economic situation in the state is very traumatic. And people have said, why Zuma now? After all, is not a role model to any Nigerian or even anywhere in the world. Can I have your reaction to that?
Okay. Let me correct this impression. No worker in Imo State is owed any arrears of salary. Our people should be cross-checking information and getting the facts right first. Okay? Two, President Zuma's visit to Imo State has brought a lot of benefits to the state. The country that I was not African continent in a way. Okay. This is
we can barely hear you. We can barely hear you. Ebere, I think you should change your position. We can barely hear you. Your line keeps going on and off. Your line is going off. We can barely hear you here. Okay, I think we should reconnect him because we are not able to get through to him. Honorable Babs, we've just heard from the essay there. Say first and foremost, nobody is being owed the bit we can get from him. Nobody is being owed salary in Imo State, arrears at least. And two, that South Africa holds a lot of benefits for Nigeria. Would that be right? Do you agree that there are benefits that Imo State will enjoy from erecting Jacob Zuma statue in Imo State?
It's a bit unfortunate that we were not able to hear
Ebere. We hope to get him back.
But the situation in Nigeria, we're looking at it from microscopic point. We should look at it from a macro perspective. You know why? Because when you have a head or a government that is devoid of policy, or foreign policy, that is direction on foreign policy, then the constituent parts of the nation will begin to do whatever they think, whatever they deem fit for their state or their local government. In this situation of Governor Okorocha, I think it is irresponsible for him as a governor to do that. And number two, it depicts that that government is not responsive to the plight of the people that he is leading over. Because there are issues concerning killings of Nigerians in South Africa. We're talking about lives.
But should that be the responsibility of the state or even the government of Nigeria itself, taking the government of South Africa on to say, look, our nationals are being killed and we don't seem to be getting... barely 2 weeks before that action, we saw all over the social media a student, a Nigerian student shot and then flying around on social media of an Igbo extraction as well.
That's where my thought...
But should that be the problem of the state government or even Nigeria as a whole?
That is where my, my thought trajectory is actually emanating from. But I don't want to mention it. You see, Nigerians are being killed in South Africa for various untenable reasons, but from South Africans. And the federal government, ever since this has been happening for the past a year ago, the federal government has not actually come out to retribute or hold South African government responsible for the killings of their citizens on their land. If that were to be reversed, South Africans being killed in Nigeria, do you think Zuma is going to fold his hand? Even if Zuma is sentimental and trying to fold his hand, do you think South Africans generally will fold their hands? You see, that's the problem we have with our people. When something is going wrong, we are not reactive. We are not proactive at the right time. We are supposed to nip situations in the bud and let assailants or people who are infringing on our national rights know that we are not happy about it. That will...
Let me put it on. I think Dr. Nzewuji is back on the line. We lost you earlier on, Dr. Nzewuji, but you are welcome back. You were saying that you were saying that the relationship will bring a lot of benefit to Nigeria, to Imo State. Can you talk more on that?
Okay. First of all, I talked about the establishment of South African consulate in a way. You can imagine the huge economic benefits of having a consulate of South Africa in a way.
What did you say? Consulate? Did you say consulate?
Consulate, yes, yes. It was part of the discussion at this.
What benefit will South Africa consulate have in Imo State?
Thank you very much. You can imagine the enormous volume of traffic of people coming into Owerri to process their visas to go to South Africa for business. Remember, there are so many Igbo people who transact business in South Africa. Instead of going to Lagos or Abuja to go and process their visas and traveling documents for that, they will not be coming to Owerri. Hoteliers will make a lot of profit. Taxi drivers will make a lot of profit. There will be a lot of economic activities, like of people, that large number of people coming to Owerri, for that. Two, discussions were held to establish a Women Industrial Park. This Women Industrial Park is to have gas processing factories, auto processing factories, agro-processing factories, right there in Ebwema, in Imo State. Group of businessmen from South Africa were part of this delegation, and they met their Imo State counterparts. And this Imo State counterparts included Chief Pascal Dozie, the chairman of MTN Nigeria and Diamond Bank Group. Also, Innocent Chukuma, the chairman of Innocent Motors. Also, Professor Boris Iwu, also Mr. Yosaneke of Zynet Computers. These are the people that were assembled from Imo State back to recognize with the South African counterpart to realize it. 3, the Imo Cargo Airport is now to be turned into an international cargo airport. South African Airways officials were also on hand, led by their CEO, to discuss with Imo State government on the partnership, to run the Imo International Cargo Airport. Okay? So these are the things, that people are not talking about.
Okay, Dr. Nzewuji, but
politicians are just going on a bandwagon effect. Oh, President Zuma came, a corruption issue and xenophobia. And there is, when he received his award, looking for President Zuma, he said, Africans are what? Divided by colonial borders. No South African must kill a Nigerian, and no Nigerian should kill a South African. Right there in Imo State.
But what was it, Dr. Nzewuji? Dr. Nzewuji.
Symbolic gesture
Doctor,
can be realized by the sitting president of South Africa condemning xenophobic.
What action, Dr. Nzewuji?
This man is still a sitting president who is still performing official functions. He just came from Zambia to Imo, and from Imo he went to Congo. Okay?
All right.
Why will people play politics all the time?
Dr. Nzewuji, can we look at it this way? Let me pick you on from the last few statements you made about Zuma coming to Imo State to say South Africans should not kill Nigerians and Nigerians should not kill South Africa. What were his actions in South Africa, in Pretoria, when xenophobic attacks were carried out on Nigeria? What action did he take? 1, 2 weeks before he was given the honors in Imo State, and Igbo students, a Nigerian student of Igbo extraction, was shot dead by South African police. What action did Zuma take? Did the erection of Zuma statue in Imo State justify these business deals, proposals you're talking about?
My brother, I get it. All those events are condemnable. They are unfortunate. The government of Imo State condemns that. The federal government of Nigeria condemns that. Let me remind us, between the two governments, the federal government of Nigeria and the federal government of South Africa, you know as well as I know that this issue of killings of Nigerians are being discussed. Delegation went from the Nigerian parliament, okay, to South Africa to get discussed. Talks are still going on. Efforts have been put together by both federal governments, okay, to address this unfortunate and condemnable issue, in South Africa. But President Zuma is still performing official functions all over the world. We have not shut our diplomatic ties, with South Africa. Okay? So he can come here and still perform his official functions and duties. And that's what he did.
Okay. Let's look at it this way. In South Africa itself, President Zuma's popularity is at its lowest ebb. He is currently being investigated for more than 783 corruption allegations. Is that a role model whose status should be erected in a state like Imo?
Okay, let me give you this clarity once again. Zuma was honored for his days and activities as a freedom fighter. Remember, the people of South Africa, elected this man. There's an antecedent. Okay? He was called ANC hero. Okay? And at the Imo Hall of Fame, there is historical thing. The historical antecedent. That man is still a hero of South African struggle. The hero of the liberation of the African man. He was celebrated for that activity and role. Alongside Vice President Kwame, Ambassador Akufo-Addo and all that, there were about 8 or 7 honorees and statues in the Imo Hall of Fame. He was remembered for that part of his history. Okay? Not, oh, okay, maybe like the current state that he's in. Imo Hall of Fame is a historical place.
Okay,
It's not just his statue.
Okay, Dr.
There are the
Ezeji.
statues of these other people that I've mentioned.
Okay, Dr. Ezeji, let me put your hold.
Okay?
I hope.
That's why.
Let me put your hold. Let me come to my guest in the studio. I have Chukwudi Wabuku, who is the chair of the Nigerian journalists in the UK in the studio, and Honorable Fakwoda. But let me come to Chukwudi. Chukwudi, can I ask you to react to what the essay to the governor on electronic media has said?
Yeah, thank you. What I want to say is that
can I ask you to skip up so that I can speak up a little so that I can hear you?
Spokesman of the governor on electronic media, and he has a right. I don't expect him to come here and go contrary to what he has said. That is what he's being paid for, to defend the indefensible. So, because of that, I will want to say that what he has said, particularly the issue that his visit will attract consulates to Owerri, is an afterthought. I don't know when it has become a norm before a country can establish a consulate in a place outside the state nation's capital. The statue of the president of that country must be erected. So I think that's why Zuma came to Nigeria, came to Owerri specifically, because we have a federal government who would have liaised with, Zuma. Zuma came to Nigeria on a private visit. Why he came to Nigeria was because of his alliance and interest with Governor Okorocha. Okorocha is trying to consolidate his own personal wealth, his own personal interest, his own personal educational foundation, and because he's in power now, he's using the resources of the government to actualize that. And one of the easy person he can easily attract is somebody of Zuma's stature, in terms of his antecedent as a political figure and his corruption, the corruption that he is facing. So
his popularity rating.
His popularity rating. Yes, and then that is why when he could do what he did without reference to the people, and when his aide was saying people are not happy, he said doesn't owe anybody apology, and nobody expected any apology from him, because as I said before, people understand who he is. People know what he could do. Even I can also easily predict him. So I don't think that before you can attract business centers, you needed to bring a president to come to that country and erect a statue for him, give him chieftaincy title, and then name a street after him. So what they're doing is just afterthought. They want to defend what they have done, and I appreciate that they want to defend it. They have a right to do that. But the majority of the people of Nigerians are not happy what has happened. They're not happy because it is preposterous. Because the money could have been channeled to other uses. The state of Owerri, streets, roads are nothing to write home about. Very dilapidated. You could see it on social media everywhere. You could see how people cohabitate with refuse.
Okay, let's go to Ebere on it. Chukwudi was just saying that this is just consolidating personal interest and relationship with a president who at the moment is trying to build his profile, having lost his popularity in his own country.
I didn't hear most of what the speaker said.
Yeah, he said in summary, what he said was that Governor Rocha's action was just building a personal interest with a man who at the moment is in power but has got no popularity even in his own country.
No, if I understand what you're saying, let me make this. I'm sure you will allay some of these concerns. You know, if I put this in the perspective that it deserves. Okay, allegations of corruption and all that on Jacob Zuma hasn't stopped Jacob Zuma performing his official function. Remember how the court of law works. You know, he must be proved guilty until, any measures are taken. Okay, that's one. Two, the issue issue of him coming to Imo, I have, clearly spelled it out. Okay? It is on a working visit. And a lot of very good things for the people of Imo State were realized. Both of the leaders have, passion for education, philanthropy. Okay, so they share that interest. And as one of the sidelines to that event, their two foundations signed an MOU to continue to educate African children free of charge. And that's what happened. Okay? So, Governor Richard Okorocha is not looking for cheap popularity. Okay? He's been doing his philanthropy for over 14 years. And if he sees like minds, who do the same thing across Africa, there's like naturally a linkage, to enhance these things they love. So that is very, very important. But let us say again, categorically, that the visit of Zuma is a timely one for the state that is reaching out to various parts of the world. Africa, Europe, Asia, America, wherever, and tapping on opportunities and prospects to fast-track the development of Imo State. If you guys come to Imo State and see what has been done in the last 6 years, you wouldn't believe that a state like that could be in this part of the world. You talk of roads that are 10 lanes, 12 lanes.
What is spectacular that the government has put in place in Owerri?
In all the 305 electoral wards, we are talking about a brand new general hospital in every local government. I can go on and on. We're in a hurry to develop Imo State. And that's why we're reaching out to wherever. Okay, to tap prospects and partnerships to develop the state.
All right. Okay, Dr. Nzewuji, I think I should let you go. Let me come to Honorable Asfakpunda. Honorable, can I just ask you to react to?
I think he's actually talking like a sycophant. The tones are not right. The things he's trying to present as achievements are incommensurable to social reality, both in Nigeria and in South Africa. The government of Imo State is supposed to be basing its policy, formulation, and execution on social realities. And everything he's just talking about, they are incommensurable. If there is anybody to be celebrated in Africa today that has helped Nigeria single-handedly outside Nigeria, is the ex-president of Libya. If there is any statue to be erected of any president who has helped Nigerians outside Nigeria during our periods of tribulations and hardship, it should be the ex-president, the ex-head of state. Thank you, sir.
Leader
Gaddafi.
of Libya.
Thank you. It should be Gaddafi, not Zuma. We all can see those that were repatriated to Nigeria or during the civil war in Libya. I employed some of them in Nigeria. What they were saying about Gaddafi, I was shocked. That's what Gaddafi did for them when he was alive. I was shocked that somebody can do that for foreigners. These are the people that we should be celebrating, not Jacob Zuma, who has no idea, who is devoid of ideology. I don't know. Nigerians are being killed in South Africa. That is what we should be talking about. Then, if you are going to actually build a statue for Zuma, can you please list? Because when you give merit, you give merit based on physical achievement. Can this gentleman here enumerate the physical achievement that are on ground already, not in the process, not impregnated, in Owerri? These are the indices that we should be looking into. These are the things that we should be talking about. What has Zuma done for Igbo people in Owerri before being actually celebrated today? That's what we should. What's he talking about? He's talking rubbish.
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's not.
He's not talking rubbish, but you know, he's talking from a perspective of somebody who's being paid.
He's an
who's being paid? Who's
he's
being
an
paid?
aide of the government.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I'm really sorry about that.
Okay,
I accept my apology,
it's fine.
moderator.
All right. Let's. Dr. Izewuji, thank you so much for joining us from Owerri live on the program today. I'm not sure if he's still there. Is he still there? He's gone. All right. Thank you so much for joining us live from Owerri. Thank you for being part of the program. But before we round off the program, let's quickly go on the national issue now. 2019 is very close by. Shukudi. PDP just is about having its own convention. Everything seems to be quiet, but names are being mentioned here and there. 2019 now, what is it going to be like? Who are the possible contenders that you think?
Well, thank you.
Politically, which parties are we looking at for politically? Which party will be struggling to get what? Are we going to have a new party? Or is it going to be between APC and PDP? Or between PDP and other parties? Or APC and other parties? Before we start looking at the individuals.
Yeah, from the look of things, 2019 it will not be much different from 2015 in terms of politicking and all whatnot. The main dominant parties now are PDP and APC, and I don't expect it to alter considerably. Although we may have a new party does not really will not translate to them capturing power, because there are many things involved in capturing power in Nigeria. But for now, the ones we can focus on are the two biggest parties, the APC and PDP. I don't expect much from them, because Nigerian politics thrive not on ideology but on persons. So the same people who have been jostling for the office for the past 10 years now or so, or even be above that, are also envisaged to be on the
same.
Yes. So I think that people are out of Atiku is positioning himself to come out. I think that we will also see some new faces coming up apart from the old brigade. And in terms of that, I also believe that Nigerians are craving for change, but they don't know how to bring people who can effectively bring change to Nigeria. From what we are seeing now, the same people who have been circulated, who have been there for the past 10 years or more, are still trying to come out again. There are no new faces, and these people they don't represent what the new generation of Nigerians want now. That change, which was touted by APC, has not really translated into real change for Nigerians, because things are being done the same old ways that are being done over again. There have been no new ground being broken. For example, on the issue of corruption, I was a firm believer in our president that he can make a change, bring about a change. But having watched him for the past 2 years or more, I can say that that change has not really come up. And because he has been tolerant of many things, we thought that when he sees them, he will back at them. But now it's like he is trying to relinquish his corruption-free toga. That's what I think. I don't think that anything different from what we are seeing now will happen.
Let me put you on hold. I've got Ade. Ade, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the show. Good morning, Ade.
Good morning, Mr. Sunday and your guest.
Go on.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate in respect of your first discussion about Rota Okorocha. It's really disappointing the way our politicians do to the citizens that elect them. It's unfortunate, and when there's criticism and people try to say, okay, look at checkmate what they are doing, they continue telling lies. People are saying in Imo State he's not paying money, but you can hear him and his aides that are called from the desert. They have paid money. So then you are in a dilemma. You don't know who to believe. Is it the workers that are receiving the money are not saying the truth, or the government themselves. Zuma, of all people, that is what is making me to be hungry. These people, they don't like us. These African people, other African countries, they don't like Nigerians. They treat us anyhow. I don't. Okay, can Zuma reciprocate by going to South Africa or anywhere and erect his own statue? That's Okorocha. It's beyond my imagination. I'm just angry since this thing has happened. They are killing your people, especially the Igbo people in that country, South Africa. They don't respect our people, these South Africans, and you are coming to do this kind of nonsense in Imo State. It's unbelievable. In respect of the party that's going to come back 2019, it amazes me again. The same people are coming. The same PDP that sunk Nigeria into the crisis we are, the same people, there's no difference, no difference. They are still coming, that they are going back to Asoro. You see, Nigeria need to get their country back. Everywhere, people are getting their country back. But you know the problem we have in Nigeria today? They divided us on religion and tribe. So we are not putting our head together. Those that are supposed to do this, they are doing it in the wrong way. If the like of that young man can did his agitation in the right way, it would have opened way for others. But unfortunately, Kanu went and insulting people, vilifying other tribes. And that's why that agitation failed. If Kanu have started that agitation in the right way, other region would have followed suit and do the, and start agitating that either we share the country or we restructure. I can tell you, I believe Buhari, I'm a supporter of Buhari, but I am disappointed. Now we are hearing somebody that stole 2 billion naira has been sneaking into the government again.
All right, Ade, I'm sorry we had to let you go. Thank you so much. Your last statement was very interesting, but we had to cut it there. Honorable Babs, your last take on the show as we count down. 2019, what are your expectations?
You see, in Nigeria, we are too complacent. I'm a grassroots politician, and I know what the feel is exactly in Nigeria as I speak. PDP is not talking to anybody. Why? Because it's the same crop of leaders that migrated from PDP to go and put strength in the backbone of APC before the 2015 election. The same crop of leaders, PDP members and leaders, are also migrating back to PDP. Some are staying in APC. APC is a non-performer, no direction in government. PDP has been discredited. All APC use their 2 years in office to do is to discredit PDP. Nigerians are watching. But there is a missing link. There is a party that has been talking to the youth that Nigerians are oblivious of. And they have been gaining grants. They have talked to 3 of my groups in Nigeria. And the boys keep calling me, keep telling me, these people are talking to us, this is their manifesto, this is what they are doing, and other people have been actually joining them. What should we do? You know this party? Action Democratic Party. This Action Democratic Party is determined to empower professionals and youths come 2019. And they have specifically reached out to Nigerians in diaspora.
But the Nigerian politics seems to, like he said, seems to be beyond ideology. Sometimes it's about those financial strength.
These are
and it's about how you play the game.
These are the things that ADP is trying to correct.
Okay, unfortunately, we can't go deeper.
Yeah,
This, thank you so much, Arnold Bass Fakonda, for joining us. Chukwudi
welcome.
Mabuko, thank you for taking your time to join us on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Earlier on, we were talking about Jacob Zuma's statue in Imo State. Is it an error or a strategy? That's the statue that was erected by Governor Rochas Okorocha in Imo State to celebrate President Zuma of South Africa. Fortunately, we were able to get one of the aides of the governor who was able to join us on the show today with my guests in the studio. Let's take a quick break now, and I shall be bringing you my next guest in the studio, who will be joining us to talk about floating counseling, talking about Celestina Oniye Thomas. She's here to talk about what we need to do as entrepreneurs, as business people, to get on in life. You don't need to go away. We'll be back.